An asteroid the size of Texas is heading to Earth in this week's episode, Armageddon. And did you know that NASA shows this film during their management training program? New managers are given the task of trying to spot as many errors as possible. At least 168 have been found thus far. For example, in real life, an asteroid the size of Texas would definitely not be cracked into millions of smaller pieces by nuclear warheads, as General Kimsey suggests. However, the missiles could cause an explosion that would push the rock away from Earth and into a different direction. Now, critics jumped on the line from Truman, where he told the president that the asteroid was the size of Texas, and said that is a ridiculous thing to say. However, these critics were embarrassed when fans of the film in the Washington, D.C. area pointed out that the National Air and Space Museum, of which I've been to, it's amazing, check it out, contained an exhibit about the history of asteroids that included a visual from one that hit the Earth millions of years ago and was roughly the size of Texas. In fact, the scenes on the oil rig were shot on an actual oil rig off the coast of Galveston, about 30 miles from here. If you've not been, check it out. I've been, love it, highly recommend. Michael Bay mentions that this is very rare to be able to shoot on a 400 million oil rig and also run around shooting guns and nonsense. And he notes that since Armageddon was about oil drillers saving the world, they convinced the company to allow them to shoot there. Rockhound's line about sitting on 1 million pounds of fuel in a rocket built by the lowest bidder is an actual variation of radio transmission by Mercury astronaut Alan Shepard just prior to liftoff. Steve Buscemi claimed that the role of Rockhound was pitched to him as a heroic geologist, and he eagerly accepted, wanting a change from the lowlifes as whom he had been typically typecast. However, he noted that after he had been cast, the Rockhound role slowly became sleazier. Different characteristics were written into the script. Now, Steve Buscemi referred to the irony in previous episode Con Air about a bunch of idiots singing along to a song made popular by a band who died in a plane crash. He was referring to, of course, Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And he is seen in Armageddon as singing